Hello, Leo. Welcome to your late November reading. The following is going to be for those who have their sun, moon, rising, and or Venus in the sign of Leo. What is it that the Leo collective could really benefit hearing from at this time? Like, you guys are going to be having to deal with some frustrating resets, it sounds like, for the next couple of months. And it's going to be really important to trust the process for whatever it is worth. If something doesn't work out in your favor, there's an ask for you to trust your divine guidance and not allow old thoughts to crop up to the surface, the ones that might make you feel like you can't get your shit together. I feel like there's a lot of self-deprecating um uh, thought processes coming up to the surface. Oh, there we go. Okay. So your mental space may be dealing with a little bit of like I keep wanting to shut down. It's going to be a little bit difficult, I think, for you guys to formulate your thoughts. There's a bit of a confirmation in here that there are people who are psychically projecting their jealousies onto you. And as you learn to ascend, it's as though their voices do get quieter, but there's something to be said when the karmic voices finally quiet out. You may have a difficult time uh readjusting and hearing your own voice again. I do have good news. This is about growth. You are growing up spiritually and you're learning to think for yourself. Got the card of message. I'm hearing subconscious messages waiting for the message, waiting to say the right thing as well. Got the card of power. I just hear these weird echoes of a previous version of yourself. And I think Leo is going to be feeling a little bit intimidated. You've never accessed this part of your psyche before. And while you've been hoping for this level of freedom for a long time, a lot of you guys are going to be noticing how powerful you really are. Got the card of the shadow, being able to face the little demons that haunt us in the back of our mind. But I was saying there's these little echoes sort of hanging around in the background of your mind, but that's all they are. They're just echoes, 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 echoes. And there's something very humorous about the next couple of weeks, especially within your mental space. We've got the card of divine masculine. You know, it does feel like divine masculine and message does have a tie-in together. A lot of us have been waiting to get good news, waiting to hear about any kind of shifts. Those of us who might identify with being on the twin flame journey, it's like you're kind of waiting for the go. You're waiting for a chance to know that everything's going to be okay. In some ways, I think a few of you have been looking for confirmation that you're actually not that crazy. But let's dive in here with the tarot. Let's get some guidance just on message. I have been picking up a lot of moth energy for this first zodiac series in the new High Priestess Berries format. You guys are going through this lovely transformation with your spiritual ascension. And I actually feel more that you're really letting go from the counterpart. You're really getting a lot better at letting go of people who really wronged you. There is some semblance of satisfaction that if things don't work out the way you fantasize in the 3D, you're going to be able to find catharsis and closure no matter what. King of Swords. This is a little bit of the conversation you're trying to manifest, and all of a sudden it's just like I feel this irritation on my face. Like, because the thoughts within your mind are starting to quiet out, especially now that you've been distancing yourself from toxic feminine energies, the ones that almost are like little mind ninjas and create psychological warfare. That's what I'm talking about when I mention toxic or karmic feminine energy. But you've been masking. And there's something about you are actually going to be able to get behind your mask and in some ways get into your feminine energy. You might feel a little bit duplicitous at this time, but oh, we got, yeah, there we go. Two of Swords. Which truth is the correct truth? Because I want to make sure that I'm speaking properly. And you guys are going to be really understanding the difference between ego and divine channeling. And there's nothing wrong with the ego. It's just the way that your physical brain connects with the metaphysical brain. We got Seven of Swords, which is deception, the Hierophant, in the way that you were taught. Ooh, ooh, oh, shit. Okay. So I'm actually getting this sort of you are learning to overcome a mental health stigma. And the worst part is those who project the most onto others, like, why can't you even? What's wrong with you? Why can't you just listen to what your doctors say? uh there's been a stigma that you've been learning to go through firsthand. Like, more than likely you yourself have had to deal with the nervous breakdown, or have had to deal with a few of you have talked about where it felt like you're going through some type of psychosis, or developing these neuroses, or trying to get some kind of even just genuine healthcare support to help you govern the crazy that is within your brain. But there's something about this message, and it's really I want to say nefarious because I'm just being mildly dramatic. It's very etheric, and it's a little bit hard for me to read into this right now, mostly because I think it's a surprise. It feels like something that will come out of nowhere, but there's an ask for you, especially if you do receive the message and you're feeling like, because we got shadow over here and a shadow with the Seven of Swords, because I was getting a self-forgetting feeling, which is the coyote. There's so much not third chakra, throat chakra clearing that I am picking up for a Leo. You're gonna be presented with this opportunity. How do I phrase this? You're gonna hear from somebody, and it's going to be very important, especially if you haven't heard from this person in a long time. They may crop up with the same mental health issues they've always had. And there's something about having a way different approach to the way you wish to respond. This person hasn't changed. And it's important for you to recognize that they have not changed. That's okay. They're just there for contrast. It's just to help confirm that you have changed, that you have found balance. A lot of you have been struggling with trying to find external validation if you're getting better or that things are getting worse. Usually, if you're in a trauma loop, you're always trying to find external evidence that there's something bad going on. You're looking for validation. I get it. But the other half feels like you want to know that you are getting better. And sometimes we depend way too much on our friends, family, and external reality to reflect our our wellness, our we totally have it togetherness. But this has been a mask. Really, what's happening is that you've been struggling with being judgmental, and that's where the jealousy card comes in. While you might be dealing with some brain fog during this time, there could be this sort of mental checkout episodes. Part of it is just to let you know that the things that no longer vibrate on your frequency, they've fallen away. And it's important to listen to the silence, because your inner self, your inner shadow, I'm hearing, the aspect of you that is you, has been trying to get a hold of you. But because you've been in such a noisy situation, you haven't been able to hear the call. This is a message from your higher self. Wow. Got Ace of Coins. I'm confirming this card of power. Like, I've been getting a lot of these references about messages from future self. We've got Nine of Swords. Ah, Eight of Wands. I just want to chuck this at you. This is the Phoenix. just rising up out of nowhere. There's a sudden shift, Leo, even though I've had such a difficult time diving into your energy. It's sort of like you go to the spa and you really want to sink into that, the really, really hot Japanese hot tub. And it just takes you a few minutes to acclimate. And this is something you really desire, something that you have really wanted. And it's really your future self just to let you know that even if the friends and family and the world around you, they have not changed, that's okay. You just need to notice how you have changed. Um, I feel like you're elevating out of your circumstances, but it doesn't feel like it just because there has a lot been going on that's been creating a sense of anxiety, but it's sort of like it's other people's anxiety that's going away. It's you learning to find contentment and resolve inwardly, and that is your power. When we allow other people to dictate if we're doing good or bad, we completely disempower ourselves, and that's going to be changing. You are going through something that has been fated, and it's sort of like the universe has been weaving together all of these epiphanies and realizations for one big huge data download. Let's start getting into the shadow over here. To go all biblical on you, even Jesus talked about how if I have hate towards my brother, that feeling is akin to murder. And not everybody completely understands that. Like, I don't know, the Joker kind of actually understood that. All of us are capable of tremendous good and tremendous evil. And low vibrational people would much rather push away the shadow, partly because they know that they would be susceptible to being that evil creature. Like, so on one hand, there is some self-awareness with certain low vibrational people, but when you're hurting and you're low vibe, you eventually negotiate against yourself and you decide to become your most evil aspects because, well, what can I do? It's the only way I know to survive. I tried to be good, happy, love, and light. That got me nowhere. But there's something shifting in the way that you're perceiving your reality. In a lot of ways, you as a person have not changed. It's just the way that you're making choices, the way that you think about yourself. Where is it that you go for your divine counsel has been shifting as well. We do have Knight of Cups. Interesting. Knight of Cups. Eight of Cups. Okay. And the Fool. Like some of this is validation within romantic gestures and feeling as though you are wanted. And some of you have fell for, I'm hearing the spaghetti monster. There's this aspect of you that I feel like you really wanted true love, but you never felt quite worthy of it. And there's something about the types of people that kept approaching you with offers. And even if these weren't always romantic offers, they may have come across saying, "Oh my God, like you're so good at this. Let's team up." Or, "Oh my God, you're so good at this." This could just be somebody who compliments you all of the time. But something about this energy just it was too much. It was overwhelming. It got toxic. In some ways, I felt like you were beginning to drown in your own emotions, and it probably made you really angry, frustrated. But I see you walking away. Like, I feel like there's some resolve. Like, I'm seeing this karmic feminine energy coming to an end, the one that would constantly make you keep coming back, feeling as though if you don't have this energy, if you don't have this quote unquote internal responsibility, that you're a bad person, that you are not actually caring. Like, there's so many things that you used to tell yourself all of the time. And as you integrate your shadow, like there's some fresh energy. It's sort of like I'm just at the edge of the beginning of something that'll make so much sense. Like, Leo, you are going to be a little bit exhausted for the next few weeks. And a lot of this is just to help realign you to what's important. A lot of the messages that I've been getting for the collective in general have been you really need to take care of your body, especially those of you who've dealt with body shame issues, feeling unworthy, unlovable, even feeling as though your only value comes from your ability to perform. And you've just been stuck in these transactional loops. But with divine masculine, I like that we have, we got our Johnny Railroad 7 of Wands. I feel like you're actually building a new path, and the new path is creating a healthier boundary. What do we got right here? We got the card of the world. Like I do like because I see this together with the Knight of Cups, and there's something about no longer having to be dependent on other people to tell you how great you are, to tell you how lovable you are, to get that external confirmation about your sense of self-worth that's transmuting. And I see this inner unity happening. If this is divine masculine energy, this is sort of realizing how you have been way too hyper focused on somebody else to, have the proof in the pudding, and then wondering why you push away other people or why others run from you. And usually it's both. Like it's easy for us to accuse other people of leaving us and other people ghosting us because it happens. On the other hand, there's also an aspect where you've been running from something. I see it right here. Like you've gotten some actually really good offers over the last, I'm hearing the last few months, you've had amazing offers, but there's still a desire to run. And it's not to say that you did anything bad. Just as the thoughts begin to quiet out and you get a little bit more medium space within your mind, really understanding why you needed to run from them. What was the energy that was repelling you? Because those epiphanies are there to restore you, to help you understand why it is you did what it is that you did. I like that. We do have the high priestess, your inner knowing. In many ways, because I see coyote energy over here, there's some self forgetfulness in the name of your survival that now that things are starting to cool off and quiet down and even out, you're going to become more receptive to downloads and even remind yourself why you did things the way that you did. Queen of Swords. There's nothing worse than having somebody else externally of you critique you. And having someone point out your flaws in of itself isn't a bad thing, but in many ways, we prefer people to for those of us who are willing to accept a critique, we know that it is for our own growth. It is for us to develop better into our mastery. But the way that you've been harsh on yourself, but wanting the external world to be nice to you, when in fact the world is just harsh. And so you're asking to be nice to yourself. Just because you're being kind to yourself doesn't mean that you're being delusional. Like there are plenty of delusional people out there, but those are the ones that do depend on having their external reality be nice to them. Like I really hope this makes sense. Like sort of like the inside is out, the outside is in, and you are entering into this new pocket of you're slowing down, which is great because Leo is that fiery energy, but it's also the sun. There's something about taking the long view of your journey with where you are at. And there are going to be some places where you have to forgive yourself. You have to be honest with yourself as to why you had to run. Be honest with yourself, what it was you were actually picking up from people, and be honest with where you were ignoring signs and got yourself into trouble. This is a lovely pocket for you to take some time and really think about how you got to where it is that you are now, because those energies need to be acknowledged and dismissed. Thank you for your service. And give a chance for your brain to be quiet enough to start receiving new insights. And I'm hearing for some of you brand new guides and new ways of thinking. Like part of the reason you've been struggling with any kind of self sabotage, more than likely, is they say the fear of success, but it's super weird. Like, how could I fear success? Are you able to handle all the emails? Are you able to handle all of the comments, positive or negative? Do you have the ability to recognize, even if you get any kind of comment that may appear mean or snide, that you're just reading energy, and that it's sort of like if someone's talking about you, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad, it still can feed you in protected, thoughtful ways. It's the credo with public relations where there is no bad publicity. Until you're actually able to handle what that means, you may be stuck in a defensive posture, trying to prove that you're good, trying to prove that you know what you're doing, trying to prove that you are capable. But there's something about allowing the haters to hate you, not put yourself into situations where you could be outrightly attacked, but there's something about being able to finally sit still and just be your admirable self, that yeah, you'll welcome in all kinds of different energies, and you can just observe it. And in many ways, learning how to observe it and not embody it is very important during this time. Flamingo Spirit also wants to remind you, embrace the in between. You're actually at midpoint right now. Like, sort of, this is the spiritual quarantine, if you will. There's a chance for you to get some space. I got a bit of a headache, and just be in your own energy for a while. You're transitioning from one lifestyle into another lifestyle, from one type of relationship attachment style into a different one, going from a life where you had to because you had to, into a reality where, well, I get to and I want to. Allow this adjustment period to happen. Go at the pace that makes the most sense. If you don't have the energy, you don't need to go for it. All you have to do is just enjoy the fact that you're leaving the old timeline behind and you're finally ready to start welcoming something completely brand new. I'm just saying. Woo. Well, Leo, I think those are the messages. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you like my style, please make sure to like the video on the way out. And if you're kind of curious about the next message, I highly recommend that you subscribe. And until I see you at the next one, I'm wishing you peace, love, and all the berries. Bye.